AMG Hobby Talk number 82. We are back here once again before the collector of the scallops, the collector people goes off on vacation. But he is here today. Steve, how are you?
I'm very excited for what next week lies in front of me. So I can't wait to have a little R&R down south. Visit my
Nice.
children and get some sun and visit some old friends. So
There
Excellent.
you go.
Excellent. Almost as excited for his future star making performance. Blair is already preparing. I've heard he's got plans. He might fly in on a Harrier jet. He might parachute from the sky. We're not promising that, but I'm saying if it happens, don't be surprised. Bonus bar, how are you?
I'm very well on a Tuesday. Yeah, I may
Excellent.
just do next week from the roof of the mall or something.
Well, that may be where you wind up after you parachute down. You might not be able to land in the parking lot. So if you wind up on the roof, it happens. We got to work with what we got. So I think that'll be fine. Good stuff. All right. So we've got a couple of things here. This episode, I think, is going to be a little truncated, mainly because we want to make sure we get everybody out on time. But also, we've got some very specific stuff we're going to touch on. So we're going to get right into it. I'm a little bit low energy. I'm a little bit of a flu game today. So I'm not 100%. So we'll do what we can, though. And the main focus today is going to be Upper Deck Extended. That's the main product this week. But we'll touch on a few other things really quick. All right, first order of business here. I want to quickly do a couple of comments from last week's episode. So thank you, as always, to everybody who leaves a comment. Always appreciate it.
Yep.
So from last week's episode, Gotham Collections is in here, which says, awesome video. Videos are always great. Content is spot on. Love the in-store videos of the showcases and such as well. So kind of speaking on a suggestion of things we like to see. Yes, that is something we want to make sure we try to incorporate a little bit. So maybe, Blair, what we can do is if over the course of the next week, if there's anything interesting in the store, something set up, a display, or anything that's you think might be worthwhile, if we capture a little bit of footage, we can kind of include that and incorporate maybe that into the episode. So let's see. We'll workshop it and think about it, and if we come up with anything, we can incorporate it in there. And we're saving a couple of fun items specifically for that episode that I can talk to with Blair. So we'll get to that. But thank you, Gotham, as always. Appreciate you. Oren Cards here, who I know I've seen in the comments section on my channel as well, has commented on a few things. So first one was on the episode 77, actually. So a couple of the classic episodes got some comments here. Okay. Love you guys. I never rip, but buy a Connor McDavid from every issue feature. So Carlos is classy, so I appreciate the comment. Thank you, Octavio. Big fan, Octavio. And then just picked up a Shore Caporal. So a couple of different items. So thank you, Octavio, for some comments. Appreciate the participation on that. So I want to make sure I acknowledge all those on some of the previous episodes. As always, if everybody has a comment or anything or suggestion or anything, feel free to include it in the comment section. We'll usually address it in the following episode. But if you've got any specific question, you want to know pricing or availability on something, reach out directly to the store. I'll put the scrolling ticker in the bottom. That's the Instagram and the website, amgcollectibles.ca. It's the hub for everything else. Reach out directly to the store, though. That's the way to get the quick answer and the specific answer, because we can show you the product. We can't talk to you about the pricing. Availability, we can give you a little bit of an idea, but if you want all the details, contact the store directly. All righty. So those are the comments. Thank you, everybody, for that. Okay, so here are the products that come in. I'm going to go over the list quickly, and like I said, we'll focus on Extended. That'll be our main one. 2024 Panini Donruss Clear to Football. 2025 Panini Revolution Basketball. So a lot of these are either restocks or a lot of these have limited availability, some of them. Again, inquire within if you want the specifics. 2025 Panini Select Soccer EPL, and then a couple of different Pokemon products. So I'll read the whole list. If there's anything, Blair, that you think is noteworthy here, you can let us know at the end, but I'll go through the list quickly. Pokemon Rival Battle Deck Marnie/Steven. I assume those are trainers, but we'll get to that here in a second. Pokemon Destined Rivals Booster display. Pokemon Destined Rivals 3-pack blister, different format. Destined Rivals Booster Bundle. So if you want your Destined Rivals, we got a lot of different formats of that. Destined Rivals Blister Packs and Destined Rivals Elite Trainer Box. So that list of Pokemon products. So real quick, is there anything notable in there in that list of items that is worth mentioning briefly?
Pretty much everything.
Okay, so it's Pokemon, and Blair says it's good. Okay.
Yeah, there's been a lot of like most of the Pokemon, but this one especially. So this is the next, I think it's the 10th Scarlet and Violet release. But anyway, it's a big one. It's kind of revolving around the Team Rocket set that was done way back when for the Pokemon enthusiasts. So yeah, it's been a lot of hype about this one, and it should be pretty good. didn't get to check our allotment. Sorry, I forgot I had the wrong sheet. But anyway, we should have a fair amount. Even Steve might chime in on this, but we're going to do our usual. There's always a buzz around the latest Pokemon release, and this one should be no different. So, all the formats, like you just mentioned, we're going to have boosters, sell as packs, ETBs, booster bundle. So it's all coming. Pretty big set. I think it's a 240 card set, and thought I read about an expansion too as well. So yeah, it'll be sought after. There'll be excitement. Release day is Friday. Again, we obviously don't pre-sell it. We can't. It's a release day there, so and we don't do pre-sale. So we'll do our thing again, like we always do. Try to price it competitively, and try to not have a kind of crazy morning. So we'll do what we need to get it to everybody. I'm sure we'll be limiting it as we usually do, not to make anybody upset, but just to spread it to as many people as we can, because we do have a pretty good Pokemon market here. So yeah, yep. So yeah, next big release, so it'll be exciting.
Yep. Like Blair said, we'll do it in an orderly fashion. We're not going to release the pricing until Friday morning. So people that are calling want to know what the price is. We're not 100% sure what the price is right now. So the best thing to do is wait when we come in Friday morning early to set up. We'll all get together and make the decision, and just kind of look around to see where the pricing is at it, and try to be as competitive as we can be.
Yeah.
But again, it'll be a hectic day Friday. So just the last 2 or 3 releases, though, our customers have kind of gotten used to the format now and are working well with us. So our big thing is just to make sure as many people as possible can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Sounds good.
And just a note for anybody, I know it's a little harder to do this, but if anybody thinks they can't come in, we have taken some orders over the phone, as long as, you can call when the store opens, and, we'll try to accommodate anybody that way as well too. But just bear with us, because it probably will be busy in store. So, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, a couple of other ones real quick at the very end here. As I mentioned, we've got 24-25 Upper Deck Extended. We'll talk about that a little more length here at the end. And then CHL Hockey is also one of the products that we've got listed on here. Now, related to that, I do want to make mention of this, since it is something that was put into the social medias. Again, always check out the social medias if you're curious about anything that we're going to talk about. This is included in the Instagram, for example, but also on Facebook and a few other places. Yeah. There's actually a bounty from AMG Collectibles related to CHL. So you can check it out here. In the image, I'll read it to you, but in the image itself is also included on the Instagram if you want to see more. 24-25 CHL, Daniel Walters, the Gold Outburst, 1 of 1, which is one of the options available in CHL. And then also looking for variations of Daniel Walters and Jacob Newcomb. So these are specific players. The Daniel Walters Gold Outburst is the one. Is a $1,000 bounty on that card. And then there is also bounties available for variations of Daniel Walters himself, the other versions, and then also Jacob Newcomb. So specifically these players in these formats, you can inquire. If you have a question or you happen to pull one of these cards, inquire within as well.
Yep. Yeah, I believe they're local kids, and they've played hockey with Brad and Sherry's nephew, Jacob. So, that's just something neat to create a little buzz. And sometimes the CHL set isn't overly exciting, so this is kind of a fun way to get people collecting it. And the good news is CHL product isn't overly expensive, so it's a good way for those, I guess, if you want to call it a little bit of gambling. But nice to get $1,000 in your pocket for a Gold Outburst.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll just call it what it is, so everybody's on the same page. It's an incentive. It's like anything else. It's like, when Topps was doing the buyback program. Why would you pay that much money for a base card? Because it's good for business. At the end of the day, it's to motivate. Don't buy a box that you don't want just to try to gamble on a bounty. So I will never recommend that. But if you were already kind of interested or semi-inclined and you happen to pull one of these cards, hey, you can make a little money back on it for yourself. It's a guaranteed buyer. If nothing else, you have a guaranteed buyer who is interested should you pull one of these nicer cards. So just something to bear in mind. If, again, you already have some built-in interest to start, it's a nice potential bonus for you. So, like I said, we included it in there. It is in the social media posts if you're interested, and you can follow along if you happen to pull one of these cards. All righty. All right, so we've got that on there. Last thing I want to mention then, before we get right into it. So what I'll do is I'll mention this. We'll share a couple of cards that came in the store, and then we'll finish up with the Upper Deck Extended. So that's how we'll run this thing to close off the episode. We've got the card show and trade night. So right now we're recording this on the Tuesday. This episode is going to drop on Wednesday. So at the end of the week, on Friday, you're going to have a trade night in the evening. And then the following day, on the Saturday in the morning, you're going to have a card show. It's all going to be inside the mall like usual. Guys, can you please refresh my memory on hours?
Sure. So trade night is 5 to 8 on the Friday, and then the card show is 9 to 3 on the Saturday. And I believe for vendors, you can set up anytime after 7, I believe.
So that should be arranged. Just to give everybody a reminder, so we are approaching the end of the month, so we wanted to give you that reminder as well that the card show and trade night are happening this month, and then we'll keep you updated on subsequent months as we go forward into the summer. But regardless, this month we've got one coming up. Go ahead, Blair.
Sorry, I was just going to throw that in. We were having some banter yesterday. Someone was in the store and just asking, and I totally on me. I didn't check into it or whatever. And normally the summer months, are kind of slower. Sometimes we don't do it, but I wasn't 100% sure. But just with some new knowledge, it sounds like we're going to go the last Saturday right through the year. So obviously we got to confirm just the dates for sure. But it sounds like we're going to run right through the summer and into the fall, so the rest of the year. So just for a heads up, because there was a few people asking like what we do, and there was somebody in from out of town, and so we just confirmed that for them. So anybody listening, it looks like it's a go for the rest of the year. Of course, we'll post up our dates and stuff like we usually do, just as a kind of a reconfirmation, but you heard it here first.
Yep. Wow. And we're completely sold out again, but we also were able to free up, I think, another 20 tables. So Parker has been going to the list of, for those that are on the waiting list, filling it up. So be checking your emails, and hopefully there'll be no one on the wait list because freeing up those tables was huge. And then, of course, I do see even this morning there was 1 or 2 cancellations, which happens. So be on standby, those that are hoping to get in, and it'd be great if everyone gets taken care of. But it is what it is. But it looks like another great show on the horizon.
Good, I like it. All right, so now let's get into a couple of cards here in the shop. So there's a couple of nice ones here. First one I'm actually going to speak to a little bit. So let me share it with you, and then we'll go through the different cards. So first one, I can actually share a little bit of insight, and also we can have a little bit of fun with this one. So first card here. We're going to start off with a little bit of my wrestling. We got a little bit of that going on here. Now, this is a kind of a fun one here. We're starting off here with Immaculate. Immaculate already has some very nice cards in it. And the WWE iteration has done very well with this one. So this is a Mankind autograph here. But, and I actually did a little bit of research for this. So when you guys sent this over to me, I actually went and did a little digging because I know that these Immaculate cards tend to do well because a lot of people do like them a lot. Part of the reason for that, and this is to Panini's credit, I want to give them credit for this. The image selection was very well thought through. I've listened to some interviews that the person in charge of this product has given, and they were very intentional. It seems the impression we get is that whoever was working on this product was actually a wrestling fan, which is very helpful because then you can produce the kind of product that a fan may enjoy. That includes images like this one. So this is Mankind autographing this one, Mick Foley, numbered out of 75, which in itself seems like a lot, but this has actually been a very popular card. Reason being, this image is from the infamous Hell in the Cell match, and they do make reference to it there at the bottom. Yeah. Well, that is a match that kind of is in WWE lore and is very, very famous, and Mick Foley was involved with The Undertaker. So right there, you're invoking a very fondly thought of match that is still recalled and discussed to this day. So a very good image to go along with a nice on-card auto there on a nice product. It's a good combination to make that an interesting card for the collector.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. picking, some of the, I haven't seen any of the other cards, but yeah, highlighting these kind of iconic moments in, WWE is pretty cool. And this one's kind of cool. I still remember. I don't know if it happened here, but eventually Undertaker either tries to slam or something, and they go down through the cage onto the ring floor. And
so that is exactly right. So two things happen that are specifically noted in this match. There's more because I remember the reason I say this is very well thought out is because I could still remember visually in my head right now different spots from this match because I watched it on pay-per-view live at the time, and you saw a lot of things that normally you didn't see. One thing was the Undertaker threw Mick Foley off of the cage onto the announce table.
Right.
And Jim Ross was there on the call, and he did the very dramatic. And by the way, I think he was also very concerned because it is a stunt, but at the same time, you cannot control distance. You're going off of a cage onto, this specific. You're trying to land flush onto this announce table. Well, things can go very wrong if you're a little too far, you're a little too short. Like you're going, and Mick Foley was not a small guy, so he's going off this cage and landing on it. And Jim Ross was all over the call going, they killed him. They killed him. It's very dramatic.
Jim, he probably thought there was a chance he was dead.
Yeah. But that one, just a little background. So that was a spot that they had worked out in advance. The one that Blair is talking about was in the same match, and it was more of a mistake that was actually the more dangerous thing. It wasn't meant to be the stunt. The cage itself was reinforced. They had tried to do some stuff. Well, Undertaker tried to deliver a slam onto the top of the cage, which is basically chain link fence, and all this stuff is combined. Well, the problem is the little fasteners broke. He fell through the cage into the ring, and that was actually the more dangerous one because that wasn't the planned stunt. The planned stunt was designed to make it possible for him to land, hopefully, in the best possible place. The second one, when you fall into something that you're not planning on, and then you land basically on your head.
Yeah.
They probably should have stopped the match. It probably would have been wise. There were many concussions, Steve, and a lot of problems that came as a result of that health-wise for him after that, because it was a very dangerous. The unplanned stunt was actually worse than the planned stunt that was also very visually spectacular.
Yep, absolutely. And I will point out, too, the next couple cards, along with this one, we were at a small show about an hour and a half away in the valley that we went down to and picked up some really nice cards. It was great to be down there, met some new people, saw some of our regular customers, and everyone was glad, to see AMG make an appearance there too. So it'll definitely be a monthly thing. Whenever they have their show, we'll try to get down and walk the floor a little bit. But we were able to get some really good deals, and people were able to work with us. So a little plug to the Valley show. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. I like it. So I wanted to take a couple minutes on this one because I am very familiar with the product, and I'm also very familiar with the moment they're highlighting here. So great job by them. So you can check on availability and everything and ask if it's still available. But if you're a fan, this is kind of a cool card because it captures a little bit of a big moment if you're into the genre. Mm-hmm. So now we'll talk about hockey because we're in Canada. We're contractually obligated. We got to talk some hockey. So here we got some exquisite collection. This is a Macklin Celebrini here. Nice patch piece on there. Exquisite, which is great. It is numbered. It's a little hard to read. I think this one's out of 99, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is right.
I think so.
Yeah, it looks like it's a little tough to read, but it is over on the left side. It's kind of in the middle, but there is numbering on there. But a nice patch piece as well. Nice Sharks patch piece to go along with it. Then we got here a Sidney Crosby, and this is the Red Outburst on here. Good look, clean looking card, number 25, Red Outburst. So pretty solid. Obviously, this is a more recent Sidney Crosby on there. But let me tell you, the Red Outburst. Now, this image doesn't capture it properly. In hand, if you check it out with the light, it plays with the light very well. If you guys check out the Outburst, they're beautiful looking cards. I think this is one of the better things Upper Deck has done in recent years. If you're going to have a parallel, make it something visually appealing that really pops. These ones are visually appealing and they pop. All right, and we got a one of one here. Quad materials. Now this one's a fun one, for people that are normally in the comments section. We'll just mention here. We've got ourselves a quad here of Brady Tkachuk, Drake Batherson, Tim Stützle, and Josh Norris. Mm-hmm. And we got ourselves 4 different, these are tag pieces. So it's the ultimate quad materials, 4 tag pieces on here. 100% polyester. You can see there in the top left. So you've got that all in there. So again, just a one of one of some Ottawa Senators players. We're not calling out or pointing anything out at anyone. Not that we would do that, Blair.
Go Sens, go.
Indeed, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So we just thought we'd include that in there. It's and it's a very nice card. I will say,
it.
very nicely thought and designed card.
Very strategically played, Steve Puck.
Mm-hmm.
No.
If only we knew a Senators fan.
Yeah,
if only we knew one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like how they did the other two say end plastic waste. I like those with the globe.
Yeah. Look, I'll give them credit. They did pick some interest, and I'll give them credit. They did end up picking 3 different types of tags, 3 different pieces of tag, just to make it a little bit interesting.
Yep.
So we've got at least something for all these players.
I like it.
All right, and to finish up here, we got an Ultimate Collection. So thematically appropriate from this past season, we got an Alexander Ovechkin from Ultimate, which is classic. Now, one thing I'll say, obviously anything Ovechkin with the gold chase and everything, and I believe he's confirmed he's going to come back with one more season. So that'll give him a chance at 900 goals, just basically an average season for him. We'll put him well into 900. So he'll establish a new mark in the NHL. 900 goals. He'll be the only member of the 900 goal club at that point. And then kind of ride out the last year of his contract. So, which should be a very good career on the way to Hall of Fame. So obviously that's the next step for him. What I'll say here is I do think, and this is what I'm going to note with this card, I think Ultimate, the autograph versions of them, is kind of an underrated card. Personally, I'm a big fan of them. I'm an autograph guy first as well. But I do think a lot of these are very clean. This 0506 design, I like it. Numbered to 299, so it means it's not like so tough to get. This isn't the Cup RPA where it's like, guess what, you're in the stratosphere. You got to be talking bonus Blair money if you even want a shot at that card. But these are not cheap, but they're very nice cards for what they are. They give you a nice autograph on there, and I think the design is nice and clean. That's my personal take on this.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Kind of my favorite used to be obviously Future Watch. Was
those are great as well.
Yep. That was the one I tried, but these are, on par with that. I really like them. Lower numbered, but don't seem to draw as much demand as the Future Watches, but still a beauty.
Yeah. The big thing is that you're getting a nice card from a high-end product. To your point, Future Watch, the Young Gun, the Future Watch, and the Cup RPA are kind of your holy trinity of the hockey autographs. So that's the one that most people kind of gravitate towards. I feel something like this from still a very high-end product sometimes gets lost in the shuffle. So obviously, like Ovechkin is in a certain price bracket at this point. Crosby and these guys are. Yeah. But for some of the younger guys and some of the current guys, you can still get the Ultimate rookies again, depending on the player. Some of them are not bad, especially relative to some of those staple ones that we're talking about. So just an interesting, but a great addition there. Some fun cards. So this quality over quantity on this one for cards in the shop. So some nice stuff. All righty. So we shared that on there. If you are curious about anything, feel free to reach out directly to the store. That'll be the best way if there is availability or pricing or something you're curious about. So let's do this, and we'll finish up the episode on this one. We're going to talk about Upper Deck Extended. So this is going to be our feature product this week. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, this one's coming a little later in the week. Steve, is that right?
Yeah, so the release day is Thursday. So hopefully, providing the shipper shows up on time, it'll be available late Thursday afternoon.
Perfect. So this episode will be dropping on Wednesday. So by the time you hear it, if you hear it the day it drops, you'll have a day or two to prepare. So just bear that in mind, and you can reach out and contact. Okay. So let me give you a couple of notes, and everything on here, I will link to it in the description for you so that we can go and be able to point it out to you. Now I want to quickly skim ahead. Bear with me a second. I just want to take a quick peek. Now I just want to see 24-25 extended is the right one. The only thing I don't see here is the checklist. So what I'm going to do is I'll say this, because I know 24-25 is the one that's being released this week, right? We've got the right year on this one? Okay. So I will do a little verification. So obviously we're recording this ourselves. By the time you see this episode, I'll double check. And if I find a checklist somewhere else, I'll link it in the description for you as well. Regardless, I'm going to go over the particulars, but let me see if I can get you a checklist, because we should have one by now. Anyway, all right, let's get into it. So Extended is the third and final release under the flagship banner. We've got that there. Generally speaking, you get updated players, expanded roster, and then you do get a lot of inserts in there. One of the things they like to do is invoke old designs as well. So we'll get into that in a second. The numbering on this is actually an extension of Series 1 and Series 2. So basically, you continue from where Series 2 left off. That's why a lot of people kind of dubbed it unofficially Series 3, even though Upper Deck has always kind of pushed back on that. But the numbering continues from Series 2. So, like, call it whatever you want. It follows that numbering scheme. So, in total, it goes up to card number 750. This is from the base set. So, you get 200 spots for veterans, and then 50 more as a mix of young guns and first round rookies. So, that's what you're getting. And you do have short prints, as is always the case with Upper Deck flagship style product. Again, we'll say style product since it's not technically another flagship series, even though it borrows the same design. Now, parallels. Outbursts, you get 1 in 30 packs. Clear Cut, 1 in 96 packs. Deluxe is numbered to 250. Exclusives to 100. Outburst Red, similar to that Crosby we showed, numbered to 25. High Gloss out of 10. And Outburst Gold, 1 of 1. So, you're used to it from flagship. You're going to see the same kind of thing. Here's an example of a Will Smith Red Outburst. Again, in hand, these look fantastic. Inserts. We got our UD Young Upper Deck Canvas. So you've got Young Guns Canvas and you've got other players in Canvas. Very nice cards. They've got black and white and printing plates parallels. That's something you can look forward to. Very nice cards. If you like some of your rookies and you want a more affordable version, the canvas tends to be a good option, and some of the photography on the canvas is really nice. So if you just want a nice card of a rookie without having to pay the full premium for the rookie, these canvas sometimes are nice options. Even Connor McDavid's and such from the past, you can get some of those cards cheaper than the Young Gun, and you can still get a nice card with some nice photography if you just want a nice card from the year. Dazzlers is set up here again. So you've got your blue is 1 in 12 packs, the pink 1 in 72, and they've got 1 of 1 printing plates. In the blasters is where you see the Dazzlers green, separate product, but you've got that available in there, and very nice in hand again. This is a little bit flat, but you can check it out. It plays with the light very nicely, these ones. Oracles is actually a new insert they're introducing here. So this one borrows, you can see it from the design, but they tell you right here, drawing inspiration from tarot cards. So you've got that on there. These are actually tiered. So you do have short prints in the checklist that are 1 in 30 packs. So the Oracles are 1 in 8, just in general, but you do have short prints that are 1 in 30 packs, super short prints at 1 in 45 packs, and rare versions that are 1 in 80 packs. So you got to look at the checklist so that you can see which is which, but some of them are short printed and can be fairly short printed with 1 in 180 packs. Yeah. That's a pretty good short print. Now, you've got some designs, as I mentioned, that borrow from the past. So they are inspired and borrow from that background. So you've got different products here where we don't have these brands anymore. You've got Pros and Prospects, where if you remember early 2000s, that was one of the products in there. 1 in 4 packs. Beehive, 1 in 5 packs. UD3, which an example is included on the screen here. 1 in 5 packs with a gold numbered to 333 as a parallel. Upper Deck Encore, 1 in 5 packs. Upper Deck Encore was a retail-only product, so they're kind of going to the well on this one. So an interesting choice. And Trilogy Rookie Premieres, so commons, numbered to $9.99, uncommons, numbered to $4.99, and rares, numbered to $99. So these are classic kind of Upper Deck designs that are being invoked here. There's a triple dimension reflection, so base version 1 in 6 packs, joined by Ruby out of 500. Amethyst, I think I pronounced that correctly, numbered to 300, Emerald to 100, Gold to 50, and Sapphire to 10. So you've got that with multiple parallels. So this triple dimension here is an example here with the Stankoven. We still got Stankoven on the Dallas Stars, though, in our markup, so there you go. Just bear that in mind. Silver Skates is an insert that returns. Base versions are 1 in 4 packs, while the gold comes numbered to 250. So what should you expect? 12 cards per pack, 12 packs per box. Same configuration as flagship. So we're borrowing the same thing. You get 144 cards in a box, 12 boxes in a case. And what should you expect? 1 of Beehive, Pros and Prospects, or Upper Deck Encore. So 8 of those cards in total over the course of the box. So some combination therein, but you're getting 8 total cards there. 1 Blue Dazzlers, 2 Oracles, 8 total of Rookie Reflections, Silver Skates, or UD3 in some combination. 2 Triple Dimensions Reflections, 4 UD Canvas cards, 1 Outburst Parallel, 6 total Young Guns or first round rookies. From Clear Cut, UD Canvas Black and White, Rare, or SSP Oracles, there is at least 1 per box. Now, I don't have a checklist to show you. Now, I believe, I could be mistaken, I believe I've seen an image of it. I believe there is an Ovechkin Young Guns buyback autograph.
Mhm.
I'll have to look and see if it's listed elsewhere. So this article is a bit out of date. Normally Beckett's pretty good about this. I'll see if I can find another like I said, I'll find another link for you to get the checklist because we want to have that as well for you available. But regardless, that's a general breakdown of what you should expect. And we'll also get confirmation on the Ovechkin, but I believe I've seen images of it, or at least a mock-up. So I believe that is available in this product as well.
Yeah, I think I've heard that as well.
Yeah.
Is it like he signed 8 cards or something like that?
Yeah, they limit it. It is because it is Ovechkin and obviously very popular for that type of thing. It is fairly limited. Like I said, I believe it is a buyback, and I'll get confirmation on that for you.
Yeah,
Sure.
but it'll be a significant chase card, I would think.
Yeah. And then
Okay,
plus, the Celebrini, Michkov Young Guns. There's one more.
Yeah, that Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith Young Gun. Yeah, for sure.
So here we go.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I'm getting this directly from the Upper Deck website. I wanted to make sure that I get you a good source here. So Ovechkin buyback Young Guns autographs. So here it is. It breaks it down very simply. In hobby and e-pack boxes. So bear in mind, this could be an e-pack as well. So 8 authentic OV Young Guns cards, each autograph and hand numbered. Numbered 1 through 7 and 8 are included. The final card is also numbered Great 8 of 8.
Mm.
So number 8 also has a custom inscription on top of it. The other 7 are all autographed by him. These are all Young Guns, but the last one is basically a 1 of 1 with a special inscription.
Wow. Yeah, that'll be quite the chase.
Yeah.
And I can, without releasing the price of the product, for those of you that bought Series 2 from us last time, the price will be right where that was as well. So that kind of gives you a little insight as to what we will be selling it for. So yeah, and with that chase in there, it's going to sell fast.
Yeah.
Very nice. I agree. Perfect. Okay. And I was able to find here, I believe I've got a checklist that I'll be able to add a link in the description to for you. So I'll include that by the time you're watching this. I should have it there for you in the link in the description for you. So we want to make sure, because I always want to make sure we leave people with a checklist. That way they can go and take a look at it. That's my preference, if we can include that in there. So I'll get that for you, and we'll make sure we include that so you can look it up yourself. Sell sheet breakdown. Yeah, I've got a sell sheet breakdown, PDF, and Excel checklist. So I've got this link available to me. So I will make sure I include that in the description for you. Perfect. All right. So I think we're just about on time, guys. Is there anything left that we want to make sure we mention?
Yes. The 2-month drought of top loaders is hopefully coming to an end. It's been a tough couple months for us and our customers, and across the country, from what I hear. There's just been a shortage of top loaders, but the distributor did reach out to us yesterday, and if all goes well, by the end of the week, we will have a small allotment on its way to at least get us started. So hopefully early next week or towards the end of next week, we will have some top loaders in store. So keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully the saga will finally come to an end.
Very nice.
All right. The most sought after thing we've had in months, believe it or not, is top loaders.
Nice. Very good. Our long national nightmare may be nearing its end. Very exciting. So what we'll do is we'll leave it at that. I'm going to send these guys off to get ready to set up the store. But before I go, if you made it to the end of the episode, I want to have a little fun with this. So I always encourage comments in the comments section, but in particular, I want to encourage comments in the comments section for next week, because it's going to be myself and Bonus Blair, and Blair is star-making performance. This is a big moment for him. But here's what I want. If you made it to the end of this episode, I want questions for Blair. Feel free to ask him what the meaning of life is. Let's have a little fun here. Steve, get your mom to send in a question. Look, I want comments. I want some
on it.
We may not be able to get to all the questions, but keep them clean, keep them PG. Blair blushes. We gotta sensitive ears, but within reason. I would love to get a couple of questions, because we'll go over some stuff. We'll make sure we've got some stuff in the store. We'll make sure we've got the usual things, but let's have a little fun with it. If it's just going to be the two of us, bring us a couple of questions. Yeah. Blair will give you his answers.
Blair's favorite You God song. or stuff like that.
Oh my God. Amazing. Sensational. That's what I say. Feel free. Bring us a couple of questions. We can have a little bit of fun with it in a special segment. It'll be a special edition. Blair answers questions. But the only way this works is if you give us a couple of questions in the comments. So feel free to give us that, and then we'll incorporate them into the episode.
I will do my best.
There you go. So special one-time only offer, guys. So I'm leaving it to you. I'm leaving it in your capable hands. If you give us a little bit of questions in the comments section, we should be able to address a few of them in the following episode. So there you go. So we'll leave it at that. Steve Collector, Scalpers, Collector the People. Bonus Blair getting himself ready to answer your questions.
Wow.
We'll be back on the next episode. Thank you for checking this one out, and we'll catch you in the next one.